niggas that want to smoke. Nigga, this a big boy phantom, this ain't a ghost. Had to take the weight from them niggas and then they toast. They ain't had no sympathy for me when I was broke. Amen, amen. Lord forgive me for all my sins. Took so many risks just to get a Benz. Pray for my niggas, all my friends. In the trenches, one with killers, we been getting it in. 32 shots in my new Glock. Niggas wanna hit me like I'm Tupac. Bad bitch for me in my Gucci tube socks. Remember when I spent my re-up on a ooh pop pop? Your favorite rapper.
Okay, good morning. Thanks for chatting with Riz. Today I have Quickdraw Randall. He is a professional boxer. He spent 2 years as the #1 fighter in the country. He was the captain of the USA Olympic team. And I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit more.
What it is, man, it's Quickdraw Randall, the Alpha Wolf, the one and only professional fighter, 7-0, 2 knockouts. Yeah, she said, man, I was #1 in the nation for 2.5 years, #3 in the continent, #5 in the world.
That's hectic, y'all. I know everybody, if you don't watch boxing, if you know anything, you know Money Mayweather. And he started right where Quentin is starting. So I think now is a great time for you all to stay tuned. You just got back from Vegas. How was that?
Vegas was cool, man. I ain't never really been a fan of Vegas. I went too many times, so I just hate all the walking. And then I don't gamble like that, so it was really just business for me. The environment was crazy because it was a real big fight. So Vegas was cool, though, man. I got the dub. That's all I came for. So.
Of course you did. Was it like a bubble scenario? Like were y'all in a bubble?
Yeah, we was in a bubble. We couldn't leave. Like,
I'm talking about that. Like, how was that?
Like from the MGM Grand Hotel to the convention center. Like everywhere we left, we had to go down a narrow hallway. It was a specific hallway for us. It was a specific elevator for us. Like we couldn't use the elevator that the rest of the people in the hotel used, or we couldn't. Like we had to go somewhere. We literally drove 100 yards. They didn't want us walking, so we had a van to drive us literally 100 yards from here, from point A to point B, which is literally
it's crazy.
30 seconds because they didn't want us to have any contact with anybody outside of the boat.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that they, followed the proper safety measures. What are some other places that you traveled? I know you went to Russia. I remember Russia is one of the places.
I've been to Kazakhstan. I've been to Honduras. I've been to Germany. I've been to Colombia. The Netherlands.
Shit, so you've definitely had a nice little world tour.
Yeah, I've been.
What's your favorite place so far?
So far, it's Germany. I was in Hamburg, Germany. That's on the top 100 places to visit before you pass. And it's something like Vegas, but everything is different. The environment is different. So they had like a little part in Hamburg where it's like straight like Vegas. Like it's lit from sun up to sun down. But the environment is different. The vibe is different. It was more on the dangerous side, but it was fun for me. It was fun for us because it was just different. Everybody didn't speak
That sounds like the French Quarter to me, like New Orleans. Like New Orleans can be dangerous on some parts, but you can, like it's a real tourist area. That's kind of what that reminded me of.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I've never been to New Orleans, so.
You've never been to New Orleans? It's 6 hours. It's a 6-hour drive. Oh, you're tweaking.
I'm gonna go out there one of these days.
Yeah, no, you have to. Well, you don't drink, so.
I'm gonna go out there. I was gonna go for Mardi Gras a couple times.
Yeah, you should. I've never been to Mardi Gras. I've never been to Mardi Gras, but you don't have to go to Mardi Gras. Like every weekend is, it's fun. The city is booming. Normally, I think Mardi Gras is gonna be too many people for me, but I would like to go experience it. So how did you get started boxing? I know back in the day, everybody knew you were fighting. You was,
I got started boxing when I was like 12 years old. I stayed getting into fights as a kid, and so. I see some kids in the neighborhood that was in the boxing gloves. It was actually my next door neighbor, and I didn't like him. So when I seen him in the gloves, I told him I wanted to get in with him. And so I got in with him, and from that day on, I fell in love instantly. That was my first time ever being in the gloves, and from that day on, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
And you played other sports, right?
Yeah, I played football. I played basketball. I was decent at basketball. I was real good at football. But those was things I never really cared to do. I did it to get me through school because school was so damn boring to me. So I did that to get through school, but when my coaches always ask me, "This is something you want to do?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I want to box."
What's the difference between boxing, which is an individual sport, and then playing those team sports? Like, what's the difference in how you train? The flow of your day. Like, how is how's it different?
Oh, it's a major difference. Boxing requires more. It's more demanding of you physically and mentally than football and basketball is. It requires you to work out every muscle in your body in different ways. It requires you to. Because at the end of the day, You can be on the football field or the basketball court. If the ball is in your hand, then you got the ball. But if half the time it's not in your hand, or a portion of the time it's in, when you're boxing, everything is in your hand. There's no teammates. You can't be helped. When somebody's whooping your ass, you have to get him off.
Boxing is so dangerous. I do not understand why people like. Why do y'all want to fight? Y'all be just get in the ring to get beat up. Not you can die. Like I remember, I saw something like a fighter died in the ring fighting. That's not scary.
Nah, last year we had 4 good fighters die, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we had 4. It was good fighters. They all had good records and everything. It just, man, one day. It's just it for you. And at the end of the day, all this stuff is pre-written. When God called you home, it's time to go home. So you don't know when it's gonna happen. So it's either in the ring, you old and sleep, car accident, cancer, however. But it's already pre-written. So you just keep living your life the fullest, and however you go, that's how you go.
Yeah, definitely right about that. One of the most valuable things of life, I think, is being able to go through things, to grow through things, and become a better person. So I did watch, one of your previous documentaries that you did, and you talk about you joining a gang at like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go into that so that we can kind of talk about the value of gangs in our community, because a lot of people don't understand. They look at it, they look at our community and have a whole lot of negative connotations and ideas about why we do the things that we do, but they don't stop to listen to the reason why. So can you talk to me a little bit about that?
When I was young, gang, I was 12 or 13. It was either blood or crip, and so I chose to be blood. And there was multiple reasons why I chose. I had a friend who was like a big brother to me, who I looked up to at the time. He was real good at fighting. He was real good at boxing. He loved the sport like me. And at the time, he was a far better fighter than me. People thought he was gonna be in the position that I'm in right now, as far as boxing goes. And so. And that's just something that I wanted. It was the way I was going at that age. I craved. When you're in the hood, drama is exciting. Drama will get you the cute girl. Drama will get you attention from the older crowd, like that type of stuff. So it was, but then you're in that type of mind frame and you're in that mindset because that's what you're around. And that's a negative way of thinking. And so at the time, you're young, you make mistakes, you're a kid, you don't know stuff like that. So yeah, I joined the Bloods when I was 12, 13, and it was probably one of the best/worst mistakes I ever made in my life, because I was already bad before then. That made it worse.
Okay.
That turned me from a bad kid into a monster. So, but hey.
You learn and you go from it. How do you think that, or how does that relate to the person who you are today?
Being in the gang, you ain't got a pair of nuts. It ain't for you.
Okay.
So you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn, like, man, is this the life for me, or am I about that? And I realized quickly I was. It was never a time or issue anybody ever trying to pull my whole card. So that wasn't even an option.
Where, and it can also be a stepping stone and, a phase of life, because a lot of people join gangs and they go through them. They move on to a different chapter of their life, i.e. what you're doing. So
yeah, that's pretty much how it was for me. I learned a lot from it. I still have friendships from that. I got brothers who I love to death, and they don't bother me. They let me do my thing. They support me 110%. I haven't ran across nobody who just have ill feelings for me or who don't support me that supported me back then. If they did, they don't show it when they see me. And so I get a lot of love and a lot of support from strangers, people who I know, people that was or still is Bloods, even Crips. So they all show me love and respect. So because I guess you can respect and admire a dude who been through so much, but ain't never gave up. And so some of them feel like, man, I don't know how you do this, bro, because I would have tapped out a long time ago, and I'd be stiff, man. I don't know how I'm doing it either. Shit, one day at a time.
Over, salute you for that. And I admire how vocal you are in the Black community, and on the activism side, you're very vocal for Black Lives Matter. Why? Why do you choose to, speak on it?
We're supposed to. It's our duty.
Of course, but everybody doesn't.
Yeah,
everybody doesn't.
It's our duty as African American. If you're gonna sit here, social media will brainwash you. If you're gonna sit here and share, tweet, and post anything about injustice, and you're not actually taking a step further, then you're not doing nothing at all. You're not doing nothing. You can sit there and make a post and say
that post or not, that doesn't do anything. Who do y'all think is looking at your page?
Yeah, that don't make a difference, man. And at the end of the day, we're still fighting for the same thing our grandparents fought for, their grandparents fought for. And so, and racism has never died. It was just being covered with a badge, being covered with a suit and tie. So
they distract us with the music industry. They distract us with sports. They distract us with a lot of other things that we pay attention to. I just forgot what I was gonna say. Have you voted?
I'm voting today. As soon as I leave, I'm going to vote.
Wonderful. Pretty good. So, what's your message to kids that are in your position now that you were in?
Man, if you got a goal, if you got a dream, man, don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. You can do it. And some of y'all think y'all got a dream and it's not necessarily the plan God got for you. And that'll be revealed in due time, but still stay on course, still stay determined. Because once you build that non-breaking factor, like I'm not going to let nothing break me, I'm not going to let nothing deter me. No matter what you do in life, no matter what your journey is, you're going to always keep that mindset. Nobody tell you just because you make a mistake don't mean you're like, oh, I made plenty of mistakes growing up as a kid. I was in and out of juvenile from the age of 12 until I went to prison and got out almost at 21. So just because you make a mistake don't mean you're like, oh,
right.
You can always bounce back. You can always do whatever you set your goal to do when you was younger, man. But remember, education is important. Don't ever let nobody tell you being a smart, black, educated man in America is powerful, especially when you got the right education, especially about your history. So being smart is extremely cool.
I'm gonna ask the question about that. So you say, have education about your history. Do you mean go to college? Is that what you mean? Do you feel like getting education or being educated means you have to go to college?
I don't believe you have to go to college, but I think it's important. It depends on what you are trying to do in life, because some things you can't do without going to college. Like you want to be a big time lawyer, or you want to be a surgeon that save people's lives. You got to go to college for that.
Of course.
So it just depends on what your goal is, where you want to go in life, and your overall scheme of plans. Some things like there's multi-millionaires out there that ain't never stepped foot in college before. LeBron James didn't go to college. Right. Floyd Mayweather didn't even finish high school.
Steve Jobs dropped out of college, and look at my Mac, my iPhone, Apple Watch.
And these are some of the most powerful, influential people in the world. So it's different strokes for different folks, man. It's just the will. Once you got willpower, ain't nothing break willpower. And you got an open mind. I always say open-minded to new ideas. Don't be closed-minded to think your way is going to work 100% of the time.
I have to learn that the hard way.
Because it won't. And if somebody give you some good advice, I'm like, hey man, that actually may work. So look into it. You ain't got to go 10 toes. You ain't got to dive into it. But if you can just creep your way into it, and it step by step, and you see it's working, then go that way. Thank that person for giving you that advice. But everybody had help along the way somewhere.
So how long you been boxing?
I've been boxing about 5 years, but I've been doing music my whole life. Listen up. She had a shaggy little baby with the rag top down, sitting in the crowd, but she wouldn't get out.
Known for beating people up, but you're also known for being a freaking comedian.
Oh yeah. I'm a comedian at heart.
What drives all of your antics? Q.
Man, when I was growing up, my teachers didn't thought I was gonna be a comedian. I really did, because I was always a class clown. I was always able to make my teachers laugh, even when I was in trouble. So, being a class clown has just always been who I've always been.
You like to prank your mom.
Oh yeah, I pranked my mama for every ass whooping she gave me as a kid. So my pranks have never stopped.
I'm gonna have
Read. Didn't tell you what it's all for.
I got a book right there.
You better get your motherfucking... I know damn well you didn't come to my house and shit, motherfucker! You better get your whole ass out of here with that bullshit! I know goddamn well you just didn't stop putting out my some goddamn shit! You better take your motherfucker...
Because you use fire spray. What else have you done? What are some of the other pranks that you've done?
I just know what buttons to push on her. Like, I know what to say to her to get a response from her. Like, I know what drives her, what she just thinks is crazy. My mom's not the type of woman that gonna hold her mouth. So when you come over there messing with her,
she definitely let you have it.
At the same time, she do it to me all the time though. She just don't never record it. She calls me, talking trash, messing with me every time she see me. Like, so I just return it. I just record mine.
That's hilarious. But you know, our generation doesn't pick up their phone for everything anyway, so that's good. I think it's very good that, you know, you're always in such good spirits because, as you said, you have been through a lot. I do want to go into your 55 strong. What does that mean? Tell me about 55 strong.
Yeah, 55 strong was my son's football number. He played tight end for the A-Leaf Pittsburgh Steelers, like a little league, pop on a little league team. And so he got into a tragic car accident when he was 8 years old when he didn't make it. So his football number was 55, and at the candlelight, I don't know. I heard his mom say, his mom and his sister, his mom and her friends, they was talking about it, and somebody said strong 55. And it just hit my mind, 55 strong. And so I was like, that's it. I'm gonna use that saying until I die. And so I've been using it ever since. But it's not just a saying for me, it's a lifestyle. So, and I live by that every day.
So how did that affect, you know, because whenever he did pass, you were on your way to training camps to prepare for, you know, a big fight and train. How has that affected, you know, the flow of how you live your life?
Oh shit, it turned it upside down. Like, and you don't prepare for shit like that. As a parent, your number one goal is to protect. Every parent, I take that back. Not every parent, but every parent, number one goal in life is to protect their children. Like, protect, serve. How can I serve my child? How can I protect my child? How can I raise my child? And at that point, like, you think when you lose your child in the car accident, you think you ultimately failed, even if it ain't your fault. You think you failed. And then being through so much in life already, you like, man, why not? Like, was I this damn bad for you to take my only child from me? And so then I had just won my national title. So I just won my national title 30 days before. I'm like, come on, man, now you gonna do this to me now? You gonna question yourself. You gonna question God. You gonna have a lot of anger towards God. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. So you gonna have to. Some people break under situations like that. Some people fold. I almost did, but I had family and friends that kept me afloat, so I was able to keep going.
Look at the Texans beat the Chiefs. Yeah, Texans are beating Chiefs 13-6.
But boxing really saved my life because it was medicine for me. It was religion. It was everything I needed. And it kept me going. So I spent many days in the gym, day in, day out, just to keep my mind off things. Because when I wasn't in the gym, I was too busy crying. So the gym was everything that I needed.
Well, I'm glad that you had that release. I'm glad that you had that, you know, to turn to. Back to boxing. What are some of your favorite fights?
Of all times?
No, yours, like that you fought.
Oh.
Like like your favorite victories, your favorite ass whooping that you've handed out.
My last fight was not my best performance, but from the outside looking in, you never seen me fight before. You thought I looked pretty good, but if you know me and you know what I'm capable of, you can tell I wasn't at 100%. And that was just because of the year layoff. Man, I haven't had a year layoff in a long time, and then I have to cut more weight than I normally cut. I normally walk around 159, 158. And only have to cut 10 pounds, but now I'm walking around 170, so I have to cut.
How do you cut weight? Like, do you just not eat? Like, what's the process of cutting weight? Cause
we never cut back on food. We eat 4 or 5 times a day. We intake almost 3,500 calories, and we drink
so how do you cut your weight that way?
A gallon of water a day. Because when you eating and you're cutting weight, like, we limit ourselves to only 1 gallon of water a day, but we eat the food that we're supposed to. And so the weight, our training is high intensity, so the weight is going to fall off naturally.
Oh, okay.
And then when you get down to the last couple of pounds, we pull water weight off. We don't pull muscle off. We don't pull the fat. We just pull the water off you. The body's 70% water, so it takes the water weight off, and because you can easily rehydrate, you can just drink that back in. So you got to soak in Epsom salt baths with Abilene on or Sweet Sweat. It opens your pores, so you can cut 6-7 pounds.
That seems like it would be so stressful. I can't keep weight on to save my life, so.
Nah, I mean, I've been doing it.
No.
I've been doing it for so many years. This last one was a little difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you. This last one was a little pain in the ass because I haven't fought in over a year, and so I haven't had to cut weight in over a year.
Oh, okay. So you probably had more weight that you had to cut.
Yeah. So and then I had to gain 10 pounds during this quarantine, so I got cut 23 pounds in 6 weeks. And so
You had to gain 12 so that you could cut.
No. I'm saying during the quarantine, my body just gained weight.
Let me check the camera. Okay. Oh, we good money.
During the quarantine, I actually gained like 12 pounds. So
Me too, and I lost that shit really bad.
I had to go. So now that I walk around 170, I gotta stay more disciplined as far as my food and eating habits go.
You said 170.
Yeah.
I thought your weight class is lower than that though.
I walk around 170,
okay.
but I fight at 147.
So you cut back every single time you're gonna fight. You cut 20 pounds.
Between 15 and 23, yeah.
That's crazy. Do you have anybody to fight that you're looking forward to? Like, are there any boxers who you would like to fight?
Yeah, I got a hit list out there right now. So,
I don't know why I asked like I'm gonna know these people unless you say people that I'm not. But
nah, you ain't gonna know none of these. I got a hit list though. They know who they are. So their names already out there. So I'll be getting to them next year for sure. But I should be back in the ring December, if not December 12th, January 23rd.
Okay. Well, y'all definitely stay tuned. What else? Is there anything that you would like to say? Anything you want to talk about? You have anything on your mind lately?
No, man, I just appreciate you having me on the show, man. Please go vote. Now's the time. If you want to see change, you may not see the big drastic change that you want to see, but we got to start somewhere. We got to get this madman out of office. Okay, so, and then if you don't believe that, then you ain't for the people. If you sit home and you not vote but talk about it, then you're not doing your job. So I don't want to hear about Trump this and Trump that, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do to get this man out of office. And don't get me wrong, Biden ain't the best option either. But when you got Trump in office, racist people support this man. It gives them power. It makes them feel more empowerment to do dumb shit to African Americans and feel brave enough to do stuff that they wouldn't normally do because of their president.
The whole rest of the community,
because their president condones it. So man, go out there and vote, man. Like I said, you may not like Biden, but I'd rather deal with 4 more years. I'd rather deal 4 years of Biden than 4 more years of Trump. So go vote. The power is in your hand. Don't let nobody kill your spirit, man. Like, and the great thing about America is just because somebody votes Trump does not mean you can hate them, or I mean, everybody has their political opinion. Everybody has that. That's what makes America America. Everybody has the right to vote.
I think that with Trump, it's too black and white. If you can't support Trump and say you're not right, and stand for good things. You're not. If you like Trump, you are not a good human. You do not care about basic humanity. Yeah. That's just how I feel.
So, but that's what makes America one of the greatest countries. Well, it was one of the greatest countries in the world because we have that freedom, that democracy, to be able to choose, and other countries don't even allow you to do that. So, man, remember, go vote. Stay true to yourself. Remember, God is good. Always keep your faith in Him.
All right, well, thank you so much, Quentin. You guys stay tuned. Follow him. I will put his Instagram on the screen. And stay tuned for his next fights. Thank you guys for chatting with Riz.
Lord forgive me for all my sins. Took so many risks just to get a Benz. Pray for my niggas, all my friends. In the trenches, one with killers, we been getting it in.